So recently we closed on a transaction that everything went perfectly smooth from the beginning. And then at the very end, it got rocky. And, in a former life, I was an aircraft maintenance officer in the Air Force. And part of my job was we would debrief after every single mission. So the pilot would come down and then we would discuss the mission, how it went, how the aircraft performed, whatever the case was, we would do a debrief. And still, I've created this mortgage company. We are building this company for speed, and we are building this company to be super smooth and to get you to the finish line. Our biggest focus in the Air Force was speed to the conflict. So I look at every real estate transaction like it's not a conflict, but like we're going to war, right? So we got to have speed to the battle. And you also you've got to get there smoothly. You got to get there safely. So I wanted to talk about 5 new steps that we've implemented, things that I learned from this transaction. So the scenario was at the last minute, we couldn't get the verification of employment that we needed for the transaction. So I'm like, well, every single transaction, 5 things have to take place, absolutely have to take place, even after the loan is clear to close, before we can get you to the closing table. So here are those 5 things. Well, number 1, your closing disclosure. Make sure that it's signed within 3 days of closing. We usually send out our closing disclosures as soon as we get the file underwritten from the underwriter. So usually I've got my closing disclosures going out week 1 in most cases. So that's usually not an issue. By the time you're seeing this video, you're probably already signed your closing disclosure. If you've not, let us know. We need to be working to make sure you get your closing disclosure, okay? Number 2, verification of employments have to be done 48 hours prior to closing. What that means is we have to pick up the phone. We have to verbally call an employer or somebody at your employer that's in a position to do so, and they have to verify that you still have a job, right? You can't close the loan if you don't have a job. Sometimes that's an issue. If you work for a small mom and pop company and the owner's on vacation, that could be an issue. If you're in the military and your commander's deployed and your unit's all out, then that could be an issue. Just know that you've got to get us a good person that we can call and do a verbal verification. Number 3, usually we have to do a final credit check, and it's a soft inquiry on the credit to make sure that there have been no new inquiries, you haven't applied for any credit, or your credit lines haven't changed. Like you didn't go charge up a credit card, or you didn't go open a new Ashley Furniture account to furnish the house that you don't own yet, right? Don't do that. All right. So number 4, do not schedule your closing time until we advise you. This is so important because in the background, like we're doing all these background checks, even after the loan has been cleared to close from all that means the underwriter said, yep, I don't need anything else from you guys. You're ready to move forward to the next step. So in the background, we're balancing all the final numbers, getting all the final invoices in from the appraisal, the title company, the verification of employment team. We're getting all the pest company, the home inspection company, the realtors. We're getting all the invoices together, and we're balancing all the numbers with the title company. We're also pulling a final credit check. We're requesting all the verifications of employment, and we also have to verify that you have adequate funds to close. We got to do all that stuff last minute. If anything happens through these last minute checks, it can delay your closing. That's why we say don't schedule anything until we tell you to. Okay, very important. You don't want to have us taking time off from work and then we don't have everything that we need to close the loan. It makes everything really awkward. Number 5, please verify that you have finalized your homeowner insurance policy and that your effective date matches your closing date. Okay, a lot of times we may get done super fast because we're built for speed, right? But you want to move up the closing date a week because we're ready to close you a week early. That's not uncommon. It is an issue for your homeowner insurance agent. It's not simple for them to bring the date forward on your insurance policy. They basically have to cancel it, rewrite a whole new policy to get it in place. So make sure that you finalize your homeowner insurance policy and the effective date is the same date of closing. Hope this helps you guys. If any of this stuff has happened to you in the past or it's happening to you right now, just get on the phone. We're going to talk you through it. We want to make sure that everything goes perfectly smooth.